Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to Stretford Paddock. I am Adam McCullough. What is happening? It's Christmas Eve, so let's get started by cracking a cold one open. Merry Christmas, and if you're not celebrating, then hope you're doing well. Happy Saturday or Sunday, whatever day it is. I've lost control of what day it is, as you do this time of year. But what I do know is that 25%, the sale that Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe were going to make or buy of Manchester United has been made, and it is now official. And in this video, we'll try to find out what that means for Manchester United, the future of the club, specifically from a footballing sense, because we know the Glazers are sticking around, and from a commercial aspect, they're still going to be sticking around. But the footballing side of things has been delegated to Sir Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos and his team, and we're seeing some new faces come in at boardroom level, and potentially this could bring some positive change for Manchester United. But as we know, once bitten, twice shy, Manchester United fans are a little bit sceptical about everything that is happening at the club. We're a little bit sceptical that it's not a full sale. We're a little bit sceptical as whether this could result in a full sale and Ineos eventually taking over the whole club. And we're a little bit sceptical about what Ineos will bring for Manchester United, as well as the fact the Glazers are still sticking around. Have I said that already? I probably have, because it means so much to Manchester United fans. The fact that the Glazers aren't moving on, but we are seeing a sale and some potential change at boardroom level and footballing level, and we'll get stuck into that. We're going to read some of the comments out as well, so make sure your comments are coming in. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, become a member just like Cameron Young has. And on the 28th of December in Dublin, if you can be there, Stretford Paddock will be there, and we'll be there, and we'll be live, and the link's in the description if you want to buy a ticket to join us. But not only will myself, Jay, Joe, Steve, the miserable old sod, yeah, he'll be there as well. So will Uncle Webby, but also Big Bad Wesley Brown is joining us in Dublin for a night of fun. And we'll talk about all the good stuff. Yes. And we're not going to be talking about what's going on right now, because that stuff, that we're seeing on the pitch, losing every week, is depressing. So we'll talk about the good times. We'll reminisce. We'll have a little drink. We'll have a little sing-song. Make sure you are going to be there, and you are going to be there in Dublin. But yeah, I can see a load of you guys in the comments. Some people saying Jay was on the news. I didn't see it. I haven't seen it. I've been out getting a little merry before I come home, so I haven't seen Jay on the news. Where was he? Was he outside Old Trafford? Was he at home? He's on Sky Sports News talking about Manchester United. That's what I love to see. Someone like Jay repping. Yeah, that's what I want to see. Don't get idiots like me on there, for God's sake. We're hearing BMW Racing saying, could Jim buy the other four Glazers out? We'll talk about that soon. Ian Alkin says everyone seems so tied up in conspiracy theories that they are forgetting what this actually means. And probably the best place to start when we're looking at this kind of thing is, let's look at the official press release that came out first, because I believe it's got a number of points that are quite important and kind of outline where we're at with this kind of thing. The corporate release that we saw says Manchester United PLC reaches agreement for Sir Jim Ratcliffe, chairman of Ineos, to acquire up to a 25% shareholding in the company. It says acquisition of 25% of the Class B shares held by the Glazer family. The Class B shares is weird, because the Class B shares sounds like they're less than the Class A shares, but they actually have voting rights and stuff like that. So it's an acquisition of 25% of the Class B shares held by the Glazer family. Offer to acquire up to 25% of all Class A shares. So you know those shares on the stock exchange? They've also made an offer to take 25%. And it also says the Glazer family and Class A shareholders will receive the same price of $33 per share. Now, it goes on to say, further investment of $300 million in the club. So the 1 point whatever billion it takes to buy 25% of Manchester United, when you take that out of account, it also says there'll be further investment of $300 million into the club. Now, it's a drop in the ocean for what Manchester United needs and the infrastructure change that Manchester United needs. It's a drop in the ocean, but it's a start. And it's far more than the Glazers have put in out of their pockets. It says, also goes on to say, Ineos delegated responsibility for management of football operations, and the completion of this deal is subject to receiving all necessary regulatory approvals, including from the Premier League. You'd assume that would happen because it fucking happened when the Glazers took us over in a hostile takeover and they were given approval, from the Premier League. The Premier League give approval to anybody. They don't give two shiny shits what's going on. So that will happen. It's just a matter of, dotting the I's and crossing the T's and waiting for that paperwork to be complete. But those 5 points, acquisition of 25% of the Class B shares held by the Glazers family, offer to acquire up to 25% of the Class A shares on the stock exchange. The Glazer family and Class A shareholders will receive $33 per share. Further investment of $300 million in the club. Ineos delegated responsibility for the management of the football operations. And I think it says so much about where the Glazers' priorities lie, that they are happy. Like, they weren't happy to sell the club in whole to Qatar or whoever at this point in time. Whether that changes over it's a long process or not, who knows? I'm skeptical again. I fear that they'll be sticking around for a long time and we'll just have this Ratcliffe and Glazer family kind of collaboration at Manchester United. That's my fear, that they stick around for the long. But they wouldn't sell us, so they wouldn't relinquish control of Manchester United. They wouldn't let us go at all. But they are happy to let 25% go and relinquish the footballing control and what happens in a footballing aspect. Now, for Man United fans who have seen the Glazers miscontrol and mismanage the footballing side of things for an awfully long time, we're happy to see that happen. But it says a lot about the Glazers and where their priorities lie. That they're happy to go, hey, you can buy 25%. You can do what you want on the footballing side of things. And yeah, we'll just kick back and relax while we still collect our dividends and collect whatever money comes in. So it shows you where their priorities lie. Now, Ineos, we have to hope that their priority is to eventually take over the full club and to get Manchester United back and functioning as a football team. And we've seen a number of changes that are happening in relation to that side of things. We are seeing, and I'm reading this from The Athletic, but it's been reported in a number of areas. And we're seeing that they are bringing in David Brailsford, and they're also bringing in David Brailsford, by the way, is the former mastermind of cycling's Team Sky. I remember some dodgy stories about them. But anyway, and Ineos's sports CEO, Jean-Claude Blanc, will be joining the board. Now, I don't know a whole load about those two guys, but just from their past, in terms of looking at their CVs or whatever, they seem to have more sporting nous than you would expect any of the Glazers would. And you also hear other stories about Paul Mitchell potentially coming in, various different footballing directors and directors of football, sporting, technical directors, whatever you want to call them, potentially coming in. And if that's the case, it'd be a whole lot better than we would have seen with the likes of Ed Woodward, for example, that we had running around doing things for Manchester United. And the Glazers allowed that to happen. It also seems to suggest as well that the Glazers, from what the reports that we've read since this deal has been done, that Avram and Joe will step back from the footballing side of things, which can only be good for Manchester United. But again, it's a 25% deal. The Glazers own 69%, so they'll still own 44%. So they still own a large chunk of the club. And because of the rules and regulations in terms of the stock exchange, there's not allowed to be an obligation for them to sell the remainder of the shares to Ineos and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. Legally, that's not allowed to happen. Now, they could have a gentleman's agreement, and it's believed there's an agreement in place that they'll offer them a sale of the shares before anybody else, if that was to happen in the future. But that doesn't tell me there's definitely a 2, 3, 4, 5 year way or a guideline or a time frame or a plan for eventual full sale by the Glazers. which again is a little bit concerning. Because let's say Ineos come in, they take control of the club from a footballing perspective. They make the club successful on the pitch, which is obviously what we all want. And the Glazers think, well, this club's worth more to us now, commercially, as a footballing project. It's all worth, why should we leave? Or the price of the club could go up and they could go, well, actually, we want X amount for these now. So we will give you the offer first, but we want X amount. So then you could see them potentially sell their share to somebody else that will offer them. So it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. But yeah, all a little bit weird. Blanc sorted Juve out and got the PSG Air Jordan deal, says Adam in the chat. Blanc could be good for them, but again, we've seen PSG as well. So, you know, from a footballing perspective, they haven't done much better than anyone expected. Won the French League a few times. I know the Champions League's difficult, but yeah. Lipstick says in the chat, more people to blame when it all goes wrong. What a load of bollocks. I can understand the skepticism. I'm an eternal optimist, so I'll always be a little bit optimistic. But I understand the skepticism. Like, could it be a case of too many chefs in the kitchen? You know what I mean? Could be. It could be. See straight up D in the chat saying Air Jordan deal, fucking hell. Yeah, we just want, you know, we've had that kind of outlook by the Glazers where they've only looked for footballing success, commercial success. We want footballing success. And this club, with the amount of money and resources that should be available to us, we should be able to be a successful footballing project. The fact that we're not is a disgrace in and of itself. So yeah. 3D Steve says 4 of them, the Glazers, 1 out. It will happen. So he's seemingly confident of that happening. Look, my only hope, and again, as I say, I'm an eternal optimist. My only hope is that these guys come in. You know, you read the stuff about Ratcliffe being a fan and all that, and him probably wanting United to be successful on the pitch, and hopefully bringing the right people into position to make the decisions which help Manchester United be successful. Because even with the Glazers being the leeches that they are, and we hope that they can leave, Manchester United have still been able to spend a lot of money over the years. It's just been mismanaged, misdirected. And, you know, we haven't run as a proper footballing outfit. Maybe chucking that money in that same direction, but having a proper footballing outfit behind us can hopefully, mean that Manchester United can be more successful. That is me as a optimist, but I have some of that skepticism as well. I mean, Man United fans have been feeling it for a long time, for a long time. I mean, we look at like what has been served up on the pitch at the moment. I want Ten Hag to turn this around, but as the weeks go by, I'm losing more hope. You know, nothing seems to be changing. I think he's been let down by the board and the club a lot of the time, just as other managers previously have. But things still need to change, you know what I mean? We don't seem to be looking to do anything. Kind of lost all hope on the pitch. And you need to hope someone kind of trying to redirect this ship can change things. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Hopefully, I'm optimistic. We'll have a few more Christmas sherries, see what happens. I'll be saying we'll win the league tomorrow, but who knows? How you guys doing anyway? Christmas coming up, a couple of hours away for us. How's everyone doing? Hope you guys are all doing well. Thank you to everyone for tuning in to Stretford Paddock over the last year as well. It's been absolutely amazing having you guys with us along for the ride. Shout out Jay and Joel for all the hard work they're putting on the channel as well. Since we took over the channel, you know, me and Steve have been able to just kind of kick back and just show face after all the slog that we've put in over the last 10 years. We've been able to kick back a little bit more. But Jay, Joel putting in the work, the guys behind the scenes as well. Well done to all of them guys. Been an absolute fantastic year with all the Paddock team. And we're going to wrap it up with the party in Dublin on the 28th as well. But yeah, shout out all the lads for the hard work that they put in. Absolutely amazing. Moses, appreciate all of you always. Keep up the amazing work. We will do that. I'm going to be in the studio a lot more as well in 2024. I'm going to be able to manage things a little bit better. Mate, I'm so busy, man. Between the club and Paddock, I'm just so busy that my own channel gets pushed to the side. But we're going to be doing it all. We're going to be doing it all this year. Cheers, Mickey. Ian says, who do you want to buy in January? I've just given up all hope, to be honest. Don't really give a shit anymore about who we buy. Everyone we buy seems to be shit. It's what we do to people. I don't blame them. It's what we do to them. Mohammed says, energy trophies, AM. Thank you very much for your comment. Flick Chick Nader in the chat as well says cheers from Boston. I'm going, well, it's not Boston. I'm going to New York in January. We're supposed to be going with Tom Garrett. Don't know what's happening, but I'm going. Got courtside seats to some basketball in America. I'm looking forward to it. Merry Christmas to everyone. Let's try to end this positively. There has been some change at Manchester United. Fingers crossed that can lead to some positive change at Manchester United. And we can start to function as a football club again. Even though with it only being a partial sale of 25%, I am a little bit sceptical. But cheers anyway. Fingers crossed. Here's to Man United. And here's to you guys for watching Stretford Paddock. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you're keeping it locked. Remember, if you want tickets for us, the 28th of December in Dublin, the link's in the description below. Make sure you're keeping it locked. We'll be there with Wes Brown. Subscribe to Stretford Paddock. For now, I'm going to get out of here. But we appreciate you guys. See you in a bit.